Hey, hi. Welcome back to Hot Topics, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. I'm excited to be back. And we have a super
Me,
fun guest
we
for
took a
this.
break. These mental projectors needed a break. We go, "Hey, do you have anything else to talk about?" And we both said, "Nope," for for a few months there. And then someone contacted me and wanted to be on the pod, and I'm like, "Well, Hot Topics is the best place for Dave." So we have Dave of Neutrino Radio. You can find him on Instagram and YouTube. He posts to me like tongue-in-cheeky human design stuff that's kind of funny, but also very rooted in knowledge, but not, it doesn't take itself so seriously. You know? I feel like that. Is that, would that, do you think that's true, Dave?
Yeah, sure. Sure. I mean, like, there's some of the stuff is more tongue in cheek than other stuff, you know. Some of it's kind of sincere or just straight ahead. But yeah, when it I sure, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got it. You hit it on the
I
head
just don't,
there.
I don't know if you take yourself necessarily as seriously as some
No.
other people in the human design space.
Some other people take themselves way more seriously than I do.
And I
I'm
think
I'm
that's why you're
pretty
so
careful not
popular.
to be like I'm the one who knows I don't know anything, I'm trying to be like, okay, sort of here's a bunch of stuff and then do with it what you may. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I that's kind of how we work is we put stuff out and hopefully people like it. Rebecca's more organized. She's the first line
Mm.
gal over here.
I was gonna say the reason I appreciate you so much, Dave, is because I do get lost in my first line to find mine sometimes. And so when I have someone like you to just like bring out the fun, it just reminds me to chill a hot minute and it always helps. So I really appreciate
Nice.
what you share.
Yay. Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of the idea, just sort of take it out of that heady, like serious space and bring it into more chaotic,
Yeah, it's
fun
more of an
place.
experiment than anything else. So
Yeah,
Yes,
who
absolutely.
knows?
Do you find okay, because I'm thinking with that 5-2, and we talk about all the projections there, but we're just talking about how you're having so much fun. Like, do people still project stuff onto you even when you're just having fun?
Yeah, like all the time. Plus, I have mostly second lines, so I've got
Mm-hmm.
11 second lines and four fifth lines, and I'm a 5-2. So yeah, and it's yeah, all the time. And the being burned at the stake is a big thing too. Everybody eventually figures me out and moves on. So
what do
that's
you
the
mean
main
figures
thing.
you out?
Oh, I'm like, I need more. What's happening?
Yeah. Figures out what?
I don't know, that I'm not that I'm only so cool. I can't be, that great.
That's true. I
Yeah.
think that's healthy that we all kind of have our, like you said before, you're not the one, like the all knowledgeable one that everybody should turn to. And none of us really are. We kind of do our own thing when it comes to sharing human design. And I don't think you should be burned at the stake for sharing the stuff that you enjoy and that is interesting to you, even if it's something that somebody else is like, oh, I don't care about gate 16 or who cares about this? Like, why are we talking about this? It's because you want to talk about it. Like, who cares? You're a manifester. Like, all these
It's
people
really
need to
whatever
be quiet.
actually gets whatever actually do, whatever I start and finish, that's what you guys see. And who knows what that's going to be. I
The
don't
and finish is probably the hardest part, right?
sort of, especially, I've got the 53 and I don't have the 42, and I've
Mm-hmm.
got I don't know, I'm a manifester, so
You start
we're not
stuff.
especially known for finishing things.
Yeah.
Um, and also, it's just there's a lot of things aren't meant to be in the world. but you think they are because and I've got the 11 and no 56. So, the ideas come and I start things and I think they're really great ideas until I'm just like, you know what, that's maybe not, doesn't actually need to be done.
Like maybe it wasn't your idea, it was just coming through.
Or maybe it's just an idea.
It doesn't need to be anything else. Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I like that
Mm,
perspective for sure.
Yeah. Do you ever
You
make
guys are
stuff?
both 1156s, so
I
Yes,
know.
yes.
So we're like,
like, what are you talking about?
That's really neat. An idea doesn't have to be a thing. Cool idea. I have a hard time with that because and Rebecca does too. We'll get ideas for stuff, but then I think about it and I go, do I really want to do what this idea entails? Like to put it all out? And most of the time it's a huge, gigantic no, because it's too much for me energetically. So I'm just like, I'm over it then. It really helps with FOMO because I can look at other people's lives and I have to go, okay, well, what did they have to do to get to that? And I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. So I'm good right here.
Absolutely. Yeah, FOMO is so much less of a thing for me now.
Oh yeah.
Occasionally. But do I have to stay out past 8 o'clock? I don't really want to do that.
I was out till 10 o'clock last night and I don't know what happened.
Right?
I woke up today and I'm like, I'm good. I think I'm all right. I had a big old coffee. So, but yeah, I don't really stay out. I guess that's not true. I wait tables. So I'm out till like, geez, half the week. I'm not really this person. I'm wait tables and I laugh at people's jokes that aren't funny. And I
Mm-hmm.
I answer questions that people already know the answer to, but I don't say what I really want to say. But the other time I'm this gal, and this gal is in bed by like 9 o'clock.
My roommate is a self-projected projector, and he's like a hustle monster kitchen guy, like a sous chef
Yeah.
in a really nice restaurant, and he like works his ass off for like I never see him. He's never home. He comes home sometimes after I go to bed, and then on his days off, he's in his room for like the whole day. Like he must be sleeping all day long.
It's
As a
not very good
projector,
for the body, being in a restaurant. Yeah, it's
I
really
did it for
it's hard.
20 something years,
Did you? Wait, you were a
I
server?
was a back of house guy. I was a chef.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
And
don't
I
have
mean,
to
I
be
also
as like
did front of house stuff too, but I was not good at it,
That's the hard part, is being like all the time,
I
Yeah,
could
that's funny.
charm the tables. I just couldn't remember who wanted water, I was good at talking to them. The whole mental organization of
Oh
waiting
man,
tables.
that's my jam. That's like the best part for me is I'm prioritized up the wazoo. Like I'm efficient. I can take more tables than anybody. I would have a contest with anybody at the restaurant I worked at to see who could take more tables at the same time, and I would win because I know I can because I've done it. It just sucks. Like it sucks to be really good at something that you can't do, you don't want to do for your whole life, for sure. And I can't also, I physically can't. My body, breaking down sounds dramatic. It's not really like that. I just have overuse injuries in several places. And I know it's from waiting tables. And I know like I can't do this forever physically.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm great. So it's kind of hard. And when you're a projector, it's like, well, I know that I'm good and people tell me that I'm good. So I'm just going to keep doing this.
All the recognition that you want. Gosh, you sure are good at carrying that tray.
Right? They're blue
You're such
ducks at the restaurant I work at. You get a blue duck if they like you.
Wait, is it like a wood duck? Is it like a pin? Like what is
It's a
it?
squeaky duck. It's like this big.
Like a rubber duck?
Yes. And everybody is
train you to-
losing their minds trying to get these stupid ducks. And I'm like, you guys, it's a duck. One
These
guy
are
went and
literally
found
like
them
a
and like
bunch
bought
of
them.
dogs that they're training.
Right?
Like
And that's
after a while, all you have to do is hear the squeaky sound, and you feel like you did a good job.
oh my God, they are very Pavlov training us. Ugh. I know. That's why I mean it's the antithesis of the mental projector type to wait tables because I'm trying really hard to make money. I'm doing as much as I can to get as much money from you as I can. I'm trying to go as fast as I can so I can turn tables as much as possible. And I have to like put on a show the whole time. And
And
it's just
it's
hard.
very it's very environmental. It's like there's a lot to bounce off of. So it might actually be a good way to get information to be there. Am I wrong? I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't
It's just like
when I'm there, I don't like it. The environment. I've been at the same restaurant for 9 years and anytime I walk in there, I'm just like I don't so I think it blocks a lot of stuff for me because I'm like, what's the next thing I can do to get out of here? What's the next thing I can do to make more money and get out of here? And I don't really pay attention I don't pay attention to anybody that's around me for the most part. It sounds like I
just
do, but I'm
roll
not.
at silverware and
Yeah. I'm like,
keep
how
to
do I
yourself.
get out of here faster?
Yeah.
I'm always the first one out. Not always, but almost every time. Because I'm like, why would I be here? Like, get me out of here. So I've never really tried to like pick up information. I mean, I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what I'm talking about. I don't know what that is.
No, you're not wrong. I'm around a lot of people. Um, it is funny when it's the people that I work with, I can usually tell when people are going to quit. Even if it doesn't happen for a few weeks. I'm like, they'll say something and their tone in their voice, they'll do something, and I'm like, oh, I think this person's really over it. And I won't say anything because I'm not gonna be like, are you quitting? So, and then I just wait, and then it happens, and I'm like, I knew that person was gonna leave. But then I try to turn that on myself, and it's like, well,
What do you mean turn it on yourself?
like try to figure out when I'm gonna quit. I want to leave. I don't want to work there anymore, ever, Gabe.
I don't know,
Ever.
you've been there 9
ever.
years. It seems like, you might as well just
Be there
keep it
forever.
up. Yeah, just stay there till you die. this point.
No.
I've been trying to tell her to quit for like a year.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone back and forth. It's the whole deal. Like, I wish I didn't have to pay rent or bills.
I mean,
And then
I don't have a job right now, and it's been quite some time, and it's freaking me out. But at the same time, you'd be amazed at how little you can consume. Like,
But what
I'm
about
just
rent? Like, oh, do you pay rent? If you don't mind.
well,
my
yeah,
asking?
that's the thing. Yeah, I have to keep paying the rent.
Yeah.
But then,
That's-
you start giving up stuff like pastries and,
coffee
you
out.
drink coffee only once a day, that kind of stuff. Definitely stop going out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
just
know.
keep giving things up. You'd be amazed. You can just live off of nothing but rent.
I'm only there 3 days a week, so it's not too terrible. I've really and that even is not enough. I told Rebecca I was working 4 days a week for a while, and they kind of took the 4th day away because they hired too many people, so they gave it to somebody else. And I freaked out for a second. But Sean was like, you don't want to work. My husband, he said, you don't want to work that 4th day anyway. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I feel like death by that day. And he was like, well, then just don't. And it's so hard. My fucking 2-4 generator husband is just like, you're cool. Just do whatever.
Are you like, do you wish you were like doing readings and stuff?
I mean, that's what
Sessions?
what I want to do. I did something last night that's called Human Design Party Time, where I went to a party and I read for them. And I talked about human design to a group of people, which I have never done in this capacity, where they were actually interested and knew what I was talking about. So it was really fucking cool. All splenic, all sacral. No emotional authority, which was very surprising to me.
Hmm.
So it was a lot of like energy, but it was really neat. And that's actually something, it's weird to say this because it doesn't sound sustainable, but that would be what I would want to do is in real life, even if it's just one-on-one. I think the in-person stuff is really where I feel powerful. I felt
What?
like I was in charge. I felt like people were there to see me. They were there for me.
Because they were. But why do you say it's not sustainable?
It's just like I don't know. And none of it has been sustainable so far. The readings that I offer, and this is where I have a problem, Dave, is I know what I would like to do. I just don't. I have no marketing. I don't want to desire to do any of that. That stuff makes it just makes my skin crawl. Computer stuff, marketing stuff, all the crap feels very not genuine to me. And so I just don't know. I'm a projector who doesn't know how to get herself out there in a way that would be effective. And I don't really, and I feel like I'm trying too hard to figure that out. So then I try way less. And then nothing really happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
A
I would love
similar
to do
problem.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah, even the trying less and less thing, I'm doing that right. I don't even know how to try anymore. Because human design teaches us that there's no way you're ever going to do anything you don't feel like doing. You just like keep on getting better and better at being a brat about your energy until you're just like, I don't feel like it, and you just can't do anything. So and then all the generators are just like waiting for things to come to them, and then I don't know. As a manifester, I'm supposed to like go and make shit happen, but I don't. Nothing feels like the right thing. There's all this waiting for mutation to happen, and then nothing, and then like, oh my god, 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 and and that's where I am right now,
Over and
actually.
over.
Yeah.
Do people bring you stuff to initiate for them?
No.
Have you ever initiated something for somebody else?
Well, I mean, I'm sure I have. Yeah, I could come up with a bunch of examples if I really thought about it. I guess
Yeah.
people sort of do. Sort of.
I feel like that I agree with you to be a manifester and here I'm here to make it go. I'm here to be the start. Like that's so much fucking pressure. Like who I feel like I've said the F word so many times in this podcast. I'm sorry. Not again today.
That's the first time this data set helps.
Have I said it yet?
No, but I usually don't, and I don't know where it's coming from. But I mean, I do swear all the time, but I try to. You guys are fine. You're all adults listening, I'm
I mean,
sure.
I'm surprised I haven't sworn like 17 times already.
Right?
But I'll try
But
not to.
it must be hard to have that kind of pressure that you're the start. Like that sounds like a lot when people would tell you that, right?
Right?
But I think that a lot of times, I don't know if it's a lot of times, but it's happened to me before where a manifester their energy has initiated something in me, and I started this thing, and that's how I started the Human Design Party Time. Was a manifester told me you need to be more involved in your readings. You seem like you want to be more involved with the person, like you want to be with them longer. And I was like, yeah. And then the next day, someone messaged me and said, do you want to come do a party for me and my friends? And I was like, yeah.
Did they
And
pay you
now
for that?
they did. Not enough because I didn't know what the hell I was charging. So, and I knew this girl, she's my friend. So I was like, well, I'm not going to gouge you. So I made $100. um, but then I made an offer that's more than 3 times that. And I put it on my website. And now if people want to rent me out for parties, they can. It just feels weird. It feels unsustainable because it's local. It's not like it's not like the interwebs, which is a quadrillion
I
people.
know.
But I don't know if I want that anyway, you know?
It's like there's all kinds of ways to do all this stuff. It's just like not everybody's meant to go out there and I mean I don't have a defined ego, and I'm like, I feel really weird soliciting people, and especially like when it comes to the human design thing, like who am I to be the one who knows what to say to these people? Like I'm not certified. I'm not like,
Neither
but
am I.
but at the same time, like so many people think that I know a lot about human design, and then I know people who've been studying for way less time than me that go out there and get clients and do in person like readings here in Texas and stuff, and it's like what it's just because they're more ambitious and more just go do it, go make it happeny. And then like
Are
I'm the
they generators?
manifester,
Are they generators?
man.
I know. I think that
No, I mean
no,
like
they're
they're
not.
the projectors seem to be the ones because they're they go out and they're just like I want to penetrate someone, like they're just like give me clients. Yeah, I'm like I just need to get in there, you
What do
know.
you what do you think, Rebecca?
Yeah, I feel like I see that with other projectors, but I'm like, why?
We get jealous.
Like you and I, yeah, you you and I get scared of that. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing watching these people have like blow up in their business, and then I get bitter sometimes because I'm like, I know way more than you,
Right.
and I can communicate this better than you. Why are you making so much money?
Oh, I
But
love that you said that.
it's marketing and it's messaging. And I think that's what's hard for us as projectors. Like we don't really see ourselves. Like it's hard. We're like, I don't know. I just know a bunch of stuff and it'll help you.
Yeah, but I don't know how to
Right.
effectively communicate that to a large amount of people. And also, I feel like a lot of people pay for help to get this stuff done, and I'm a frugal bugle, and I am not paying anyone to market me because that also feels not a lot of times when I see campaigns that are I can tell are campaigns, I'm like, this doesn't feel like this person. This feels like somebody put this together for you and you put it up. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like that about me. To like,
Right.
oh, this isn't her. So that's why it's easier for me to just hold up my phone and be like, hey guys, I'm on a walk with my dogs. This isn't for marketing. This is just because I'm having fun with my 30 story followers.
That kind of is what you want to do as a projector, because you're not, then it's just like I'm available for invitations, like here I am, like
Mhm.
I'm just being consistent with my social
Inconsistency.
media, and I exist.
Ugh.
Like, hi, yep, still here.
You know what's interesting too? Dave is innocence. And I think that's part of why we probably both have trouble with this. Because I'm also innocence.
Mm,
And innocence is very like laissez-faire.
I feel like,
it's so true.
yeah. And that, that hit even deeper when I was thinking about your content and the cool videos you put out. It is very innocent, just like playing and sharing this stuff. And I love it. Whereas I'm fear with all the one line. So I'm like, here's information.
This is
Mm,
important for your survival. And we're over here like, oh, no, I think this is cool. Whatever. Take it or leave
Yes.
it. I
yeah, my
haven't.
desire-y stuff, I end up taking down all my transferred like content. Every time I
Mhm.
put up something bitchy or complainy or critical, I just end up feeling shitty about it, and I take it off the internet.
Oh,
Interesting. So in the moment, like, is it just something you're like in the moment talking about it, and then after posting you realize you're in transference? Like, does it take a minute?
Yeah, like I'll get people push back about it, and then I'll be like, oh, I don't like this vibe. I actually don't want to put this out.
yeah. That makes sense. My husband's actually desire, so I
Mm.
get real confused where I am. Because I'm also what's the transference of wanting? I forget that one. I get all confused.
Survival.
Yeah, I'm survival, and so that transference is wanting. So I have two different transference variables that are like, give me, I want it, go get it. I want to have it. And so I feel that energy a lot. And it's so hard to be like, do I really want this thing? Or am I thinking I need to have this thing because of XYZ? Like the apartment thing. Do we really need a new apartment? Why how can I explain this to myself that I deserve a attached garage? Like, we're moving to a nicer apartment and I'm having a hard time with it. Like not a hard time. It's just hard to like be like, it feels like too much. My survival view, I think, is like, what I don't need this. I don't need all this to live. Like, you don't need to give me this. But the environment of the place is much better than the physical environment of this place. So I'm allowing my generator husband to do it all. And I'm going to go and say, this is important because of this environment. And all this other stuff just is coming with. But it's still weird. Like, I don't like stuff. I don't have a lot of stuff. I'll do it myself. So it's very, I don't know. I feel like, who are we?
Interesting. Haven't had a lot of opportunities to like make joint decisions with people. Like there's no, what should we do? Like let's use our strategies and our authorities to figure it out and then agree on something. Like that sounds crazy.
This is the first time I've ever done it where I've actually forced myself to use my strategy and authority. I've been soundboarding the crap out of this girl all the time with this because we're breaking our lease. Like that to me, we're going to do a whole podcast on this, so I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but that to me is so irresponsible and stupid. It doesn't, and it's not me, it's him. He's like, I got it. I'm paying for it. This is my idea. And we will, with the money we save living there, we'll make it back very quickly. But it's just such a hard process for me. But when I went there and was in the environment, I soundboarded in the environment with her. She's like, you sound lighter. You sound better. And I felt better. We live on a busy ass street. There's just cars flying all day. It's so loud. It's just,
I mean, just moving
loud.
sucks. Like that, it just sucks to do all the things. It's a bunch of work.
I'm excited for that
Yeah.
part. I want to get
Really?
rid of a bunch. Well, it's like 2 miles away, so it's not very far. So I just want to get rid of a bunch of stuff. My husband is the stuff person, so I want to get rid of some stuff. And then
Okay.
I just want it to be done now. It's like I told Rebecca, I've chosen the change. This change is happening. We've already done it. Can it just be over now? It's not till the end of March. So I'm like, I'm very impatient. Because I've already
Start
signed
packing.
on. Right? The other day, Dave, the other day, I was looking around. I'm like, is there anything I can start packing that won't look like psychotic? And there's no. That's no. You throw away stuff now. This is when you throw things away. Well,
Right, looking through papers and envelopes. File cabinets get cleaned out.
Yes, I'm so excited. My husband just keeps so much crap. Oh, and he has so much clothes and shoes. He's 22 son, so he's he has a style, like he has a look. He likes his style, and I'm just like,
So does he have the 12 in his cross?
no, but I have the 12, not in my cross, but he has the 22 in his. He's a power.
He's rulership.
Or rulership, sorry, rulership. They're both rulership. Rebecca's
Got it.
rulership. I love it.
Yeah. Janelle's attracting all the rulership people.
And I'm a Sphinx cross with an undefined G center. I feel like human design gave me so many tools and was like, except for these, we're gonna keep one. We're gonna take one thing out of everywhere. So you just figure that out.
Wait, what are you saying?
Like, I'm a Sphinx cross with an undefined G center. I have 10 third lines. It's like, it's almost too much of a good thing sometimes or not enough in other places. But I think that's everybody's chart. So it's probably not just me.
Right. You've got like only 3s, 6s, and 2s. And then you've got like.
So I'm really never here here to know where I'm going or what's happening. And I'm supposed to be totally chill with it, you know? In a sense, it's like, yeah, you're chill with that.
Yeah, it's a funny combo having all the 3 lines that she has, but then having all the 1 colors that she has.
This is you. You're a genius at this, pointing this out to me. You are, because it really makes sense to why I'm so resistant a lot of times to change and like letting things flow. There's always a piece that's like, I need control. And it's the first colors, right?
Like wanting that foundation and the simplicity, and then the 3's like, what the fuck? We'll just try this thing. And
Yes. All right, cool. I'm not the only one. This is an adult podcast, guys. But yeah, I think that when you look at the chart as a whole, we always see these little parts and pieces that just kind of go. And I think that's part of it. I mean, this is a huge lesson for me. This whole human design thing last 5 years in like relaxing and realize that I don't have control over really anything. The whole no choice thing in human design, which still scares me to say, but I understand what it means.
Okay. Somebody else told me their perspective of this, so I'd be curious to hear both of y'all's take. He said that the no choice is in regards to the transits. Like, we don't have any choice in the transits and how they're affecting us. Like, that's happening. But outside of that, we have all the choice.
I don't necessarily believe that, but yeah, I'm not sure if we have free will at all. We might not.
Tell me more about that.
At all. Maybe we don't.
Yeah.
It's hard to know for sure. If everything that we do is we were always going to do, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Was it always already planned the way that it's going, or do you get to choose right or left, or was that already chosen and that's the way you were always going to go?
Or does it matter which way you go, because you're going to end up in the same place anyways?
Oh, okay. So I like that. So it's more like the destination is already kind of set, but the way you get there can look a bunch of different ways.
Yeah. Like you're skiing down a hill and you're going to end up at the bottom of the hill, but you could like go through these trees or like swerve around, or meet
oh my god, there's a bear.
Right.
I like that part. I like that because that doesn't make sense that you were going to end up there anyway. This is just the way you chose, if it's choice, to get to that spot. But I agree. I love what you said earlier about how we're just like kind of having temper tantrums against our design. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. And I like when I did the party last night, I told Rebecca, I knew it was going to take all of my energy and it was going to be very exhausting. And I was going to be hit by all this sacral and splenic energy. And I was like, I don't know if that's bad or good. But I want to do it. So I'm doing it. And maybe that's too much for a mental projector, or I don't know. I don't care. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I was tired. I talked for 3.5 hours. Who wouldn't be tired?
3.5 hours for $100.
I know. I told her to charge more, but honestly, Dave, I'm so proud of her for charging 100. You don't understand how hard that was for her. So we are celebrating.
I'm thinking I'm going to get some more people to buy like personal readings and stuff because they were pretty into it. And it was really fun for me. I didn't think I was going to talk that long. It wasn't a planned, like, this is how long I will talk. It just kind of happened. And they were all sitting in front of me. It literally felt like one of those 80s commercial or cartoons where he's like, oh, I have the power. And everybody's like shooting. Well, I was filling my chair, like light at him. Like, that's what I felt like. And I was like, He-Man.
Oh, God.
The
power of Grayskull.
Yeah, whatever that is. And like,
it holds up the sword.
Is that the
it's
villain?
A sword,
guy?
Right? Or a staff of some sort. Yeah, so like, you were okay, that was you.
I felt like I was taking in all their energy and their recognition, and I had the power.
That's pretty awesome.
And it's like, yeah, and now today I'm like, is that good? Is that bad? Is it neither of those things? Should I want that? Do I not want that? It was fun. So I'm kind of working it out with myself, but it's almost like I'm looking at my design and going, I don't really care that that's what you are, like that you're a mental projector. I don't care. Like that was still
Yeah,
fun.
innocence, whatever.
Right?
Well,
So,
and
I
that's
mean,
where I get real frustrated because people are gonna try to put you in some kind of box and say what you're supposed to do with your life based on your design. It's like,
but if I start charging a buttload for these things, I won't have to do that many.
exactly.
And then
And
that's how where I think a lot of people that get up there is they charge an exorbitant amount for the thing that they do, and so they don't have to do it very often. I just can't get too far up there.
No. I know people are just like making really good money doing this shit. Like
Really good.
flying first class. You
Yeah.
know.
But it's like I admire them a little bit because how did you do that? I don't think any of them are necessarily lying. I do think that they take certain parts and pieces that they like about the system and maybe tailor it to themselves. I don't know. I don't really know how to say it because I do admire these people for their business skill. Like how did you do this? It really doesn't matter what they did, what business they're in. Whenever I see somebody, even those freaking Kardashians, I'm like that's first of all, that's too much. That's excess, but that business, like how do you, I don't know. I want to be able to do just a little bit of it for myself, just like a teeny tiny bit.
I know. Where are these clients that aren't already human design junkies? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, where is somebody that's just going to be like, hey, I don't know nearly as much as you do, and now I want your particular filter to, but instead it's like, because I'm such a human designer's human designer, I don't really, nobody even knows who I am, who like is trying to
Everybody knows who
find,
you are.
but well, really not, but I mean, it's all people who are in human design. It's not
I
like
know.
these people who are, like, I wonder what's human design. I'd like to know more about my chart and this and that. It's all people who are already know
I,
lots of stuff.
I
You
think
know what
you're
I
hitting
mean?
more people than you think. I
but
think that you are.
I think too
I mean,
with
sure.
share, like it comes from this place of knowing you have to be at some level of knowledge to really appreciate the depth of humor in your content and to like love it. If they're brand new, like you're not
Right.
like me, I'm like, here is a heart center. Like then I'll find the people who don't know, right? But you're
Yeah.
already talking to people who know. So
Exactly. Like, especially with the humor, with the funny stuff. With the, some of my stuff is more just universalization of the system, like, making raw easier to listen to or something like that.
That's the best part for
But
me with you is because raw is dry as hell for me and I have a hard time with it. And the fact that you're a manifester, so it still feels like it comes through a manifester filter or energy, I think that's really helpful because it still sounds like him, but it's not as like, why'd you pick that word, raw?
like little audio little bings and like fun little things and the words flashing on the
Yeah.
screen. Like,
You takes
uh-huh.
out the serious because he's so serious, And I know there's times
Sort of not.
I mean, he's
He's
real sarcastic. It just
he
because
thinks he's funny. He thinks he's hilarious.
this is the weirdest sense of humor. When he's like, I thought this was so funny. I tell projectors all the time, they're cannibals, but people didn't like that joke. Like,
They're cannibals.
no,
You
Raw.
guys don't like that.
It sounds weird.
It's
Just
not
even his
wrong though.
He's not. It was a very descriptive way. It helped me understand our aura for sure. But I mean, I wouldn't have come up with that analogy, I don't think.
That's a very shock energy
And then he'll sit there and just be so proud of how clever he is for saying that. And it's just like, yeah, I get it. Yes. Good joke, Ra. That's a good one.
Oh, I can't even. My 3.6 is like, this is too, I can't listen to that kind of stuff or read it. I used to think that I wouldn't be able to do anything like this because I can't study. I don't study like other people study. Like the way she studies, it's not,
Yeah.
I can't.
But you
like,
have three first lines, right? I have three first lines.
Well, whatever it is, they're
Yeah.
broken or something because
I can't even read anymore. I cannot read more than like 2 sentences before I'm like, oh God. It's like,
I retain much more if I watch or listen. Like
mm-hmm,
this is how I retain things. And so
totally. Me too.
I thought like I wasn't gonna be able to learn the human design system like I was supposed to be
Thank
a
God Ra recorded everything you ever fucking said.
I
Yes.
can't listen to that though. I can't. I tried.
I
He's
can.
too I know. Thank you for listening to it, you guys, because she'll tell me raw quotes and I'll see stuff on you. I'm like, yeah, this stuff. And other people will post things. That Just Dusky guy, I don't know, is Justice, I think is his name. He just posts straight up raw quotes. I don't know how, but he's like thousands of followers. That's all he posts. Is he puts it in a little square and just posts them. And I'm like, yeah, that one, that one, that one. And then we all repost. And he doesn't even let people tag him. I was like, you can't even tag him. So
Oh,
he's not getting, no, he doesn't want that. He just wants to post raw quotes all day long. I was like, good for you, bro. Because I will not find these, but I like this one and I'm gonna repost it. So thanks for finding it. But I've learned really to rely on the people that enjoy having the information and sharing like the little knowledge and tips and oh, did you know this? And did you know this? And did you know this? Because I didn't know that. And I used to feel like that made me less than, but now I think it makes me like, it's pretty cool that I will admit that I don't know that stuff, you know, like a lot of the raw stuff and a lot of certain things deep in the human design chart. I'm just not interested yet. But I'm interested when you tell me stuff because especially Rebecca, she words it in such good ways that I'm like,
Having that hanging 43, I have it too.
oh yeah.
You're allowed to say I don't know as much as you want.
mm.
I know, but
But you do have a defined Ajna, so I don't know if that's true for you.
I mean, I do say I'm but feel much better when I don't know something now because I don't really feel like it's negative if anybody doesn't know something. To admit that you don't know is way better than making something up.
It's so much easier.
Yeah. And then you're just vulnerable to that person. And I think it's really kind of a cool thing to allow yourself to be vulnerable to another person and say, I don't know this. Do you know? You can tell me and I'll listen. Or maybe I'll go find that out later. A lot of times I don't because I'm not interested. Rebecca is my find out later. But it took me a while to realize I didn't need to study the human design system in a very traditional way in order to share and to still feel like I'm of worth to other people who don't know anything about human design. You know? And I think the way that you share is, I know you don't think it's for beginners, but I think that it is. I just don't think that, I don't know, this stuff is niche.
Some of it
so
is.
it's really hard to get a gauge on it because human design is such a small world that we've said this before, both her and I have said this, that sometimes it's frustrating, like everybody we follow already knows like everything more than us or everything. Like they're never gonna be like, oh, I want a reading from Janelle because this is what they do.
That's what I'm trying to say, you know? It's like same here.
Yeah.
Everyone's
I actually
in the same.
a lot of people find me in the very beginning of their process.
You should have a podcast.
But then they're like new enough where they don't really want to invest in a reading or anything. They just want me to tell them stuff for free.
That's there's the rub. Is
I'm
there
like, move through my TikTok. That's what it's there for.
Listen, go to podcasts, find a podcast, go to that. I think you would be great at a podcast, Dave. That would probably be a good way to hit people that don't know what human design is. That's where I get a lot of people that have no idea.
I keep meaning to start my podcast. I just keep not doing it.
I know. It's not hard. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not hard. I don't really do it. My husband does it, but he says it's not hard.
I think it helps for us because we have each other, so it helps like bring out some energy. And like I have
Yeah.
my own, but it'll go through phases. I'll talk for like a couple months and then I won't. I think if
Yeah.
you're okay with being inconsistent in your energy and speaking when you're inspired, letting it be that.
You seem very cool with that, so.
I don't. I keep on initiating other people to have me on their podcasts because I can't. Like every day, I think I'm going to do a live on Instagram. Like every single day, I'm like, today's the day I'm going to do a live, and I just don't. After I eat breakfast and go for a walk, it's like my body's just like, dude, we're not doing anything like that.
Mhm.
And I'll be like so inspired like all morning long, and then it just turns into like, looks like I'm not doing a pod. Looks another hour goes by, like how many followers are online right now? Like 100 and what 120 less than there were 30 minutes ago. Like, oh, now there's just a, like, and
I don't
eventually
even
it's
know how
like,
to look at that.
not
I
that
had
it
to let all
matters.
that go.
Not that
I had to
that's
let it
not
all go and
shouldn't
just
be
post
that
whenever.
that's very mental, but it's just like there'll be this real physical block, this feeling of like, ugh, like I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna get like set up the camera to see if it sits somewhere. Like let's do it. Let's do it. I'll make a cup of tea and it feels so heavy. I don't have anything to say. There's nothing. I got nothing for anybody. I'm not doing it. And then I'll watch something and I'll do something and I'll pet a cat and then I'm like, it's time for dinner.
How did the stuff that got made get made?
Well, I mean, it's different when it's like some little art project I can chip away at. But doing a live is pretty different. It's like
Mhm.
this, you have to have a certain kind of like be present in a certain way
Mhm.
that in a very specific way, because like if you do it if you force yourself to do something like that, like people know you're full of shit. Like they know you're not there, that you're just
Yep.
faking it or just trying to be
Relevant.
whatever. Yeah, and then it's like it's that, can I authentically step into this right now? That's the question,
Mhm.
and commit to it. There's going to be people watching right as I do it. I can't like start over. And so I don't know, it's just different with the lives. But I've done a lot of lives. Like I started off doing them every day. Like when I first, there was a point where it was during early COVID, and it was like January, February. Well, not early COVID. It was like into the second year. I don't remember, but basically, like I had COVID too, and I didn't know it, and I decided I like wanted to like make an impact on Instagram and start interacting with all these people that I was watching on Instagram and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna do a live every day for a week, and I actually generated a lot of content out of that, just editing little segments of those, like a lot of the things you see of me doing these sort of silly classes where I'm like teaching something but I'm like totally off the rails. Like that's all me, like just be like, okay, I'm gonna just move through this and manifest this thing, and just I'm doing it, I'm just gonna jump in, and that a lot of cool shit happened from that for sure.
Nice.
And I could probably just do that, but
Did you feel like you were forcing yourself to do it? Like the 7-day thing?
A little bit. A little bit. Yeah, but I mean, I'd get in there and I would just, okay, just I'm wacky. I'm gonna, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can do it. It's just I'm it's harder now.
Hmm.
I'm more it's now that I'm 4 years in and like um there's I think a lot of my content has come out of being like I should do this. I'm going to do this so I get this reaction, so I make an impact, so I feel like I'm doing something. So I'm like and it a lot of the times I'm like I'm going to do a live because I just need attention or I just need to make sure I maintain people's awareness of my existence and I can
Hmm.
maybe someone will offer me a job or something like I'm just like okay I got to be relevant, got to be out there, but really my body doesn't give a shit about any of that.
I
Yeah.
wonder, do you feel like this could be part of the 1222 thing? Because from what I understand, this one is either in the mood or it is not.
Oh yeah, sure, for sure. The 12.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, big time. And I mean that not just with doing lives and creating content and that stuff, but with doing anything at all.
Mm.
Now, my
I've
mom
also,
and my younger son both have that channel, so I feel like I've been observing it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
it also sounds like what I've read or heard from other manifestors when they talk about like the creative urge being on and off, or like the manifestor urge is it's either on or it's off, and when it's off, there's not a whole lot you can do to get things moving.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, combined with the 12 and the not being strategic and all the things that make me
Oh yeah, we're both, yeah, I think we're all not strategic. It is hard to, that's why when we see these people who it truly is, I wish I could just ask them exactly step by step what they did to get to where they are at. And I know even if I knew it, it's not like I could copy it and it would happen the same way. It's just, we've talked about this before. We're like, we feel like there's like a key that they all know or something that they're all doing, and we don't know what that is.
there's
Uh,
I feel like it's just this just do it world we all live in. It's like
mhm.
whoever just hits the ground running and like is consistent and puts in the work, sees the results. You got to go and
Mhm.
you got to keep on doing stuff and making stuff and talking and being around.
Yeah, the non-sacrals are like, come on, that's not gonna work out.
But then it's a lot of them are the ones who are doing all the stuff.
That's why I wonder, do they have sacrals helping them? Who do they got? Do they have support?
Or like with projectors, they've mastered some kind of system, so they've figured out how to bring in a whole bunch of money for like a launch, and then they can chill for a while.
That is like, I don't understand that when people are like,
But
oh, my passive business is I'm booking so many clients on my vacation and I haven't talked about human design in weeks. I'm like, cool. That must feel awesome. And it's like, I'm happy for them, but also it's like,
Marketing. They just
I
know
know,
how to hit that message. Like,
I know. You're both right.
I have a business coach who does that. Like, she just kind of checked out of her business for a few months because life was happening, but she was still getting clients because the algorithm was still pushing her videos, and she has this way of communicating and bringing people in, and she knows how to hit those marketing points.
Mm. And what we do is so different. Like like it's hard to recommend somebody. Like you can have people that recommend you if you're like a therapist or you do something kind of traditional and regular, but it's hard to be like, oh, I recommend my human design reader. People are like, what does that even mean? So because I want, like, that's where a lot of my stuff come from, is referrals from other people. But it's like, how do I, like, is there a marketing campaign I can make for human design? Like, ugh. It makes me feel like I have to turn my business into like a traditional coaching program or a blah, blah, blah that I would never
Yeah.
do.
There's like,
So
yeah, some sort of
structure.
container, whatever that means.
PDFs. Here
And
you
it,
go.
you know, like you have a product that you're like trying to make sales and then bring people in, and it's all about making sales of
Yeah, I
something
know.
that you sell because you like went and you like put together a class to teach the thing that everyone else is teaching, but for some reason you're like, they're going to come to you because you're going to be consistent with putting out videos on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and be like, if you landed on this video, congratulations, because I have everything you need and I'm the one who knows everything about the thing. So like, let me be your window to like this whole thing. And now like, oh shit, people are coming to me for this, and now I've got to have like, all right, well, I'm gonna make a, here's this lesson and here's that lesson in this class and this whatever these people are doing. I don't get it. I don't want to do that. I don't
No,
want
I
to
don't want to do it
start
either.
a class. I don't want to make a class. I don't
I
want
think
to.
if you just sold your time, you could do that. Like an hour with Dave.
Right, that's what people say.
Well, yeah,
You know.
honestly, because if we look at, I mean, you're cross of informing and you're a manifester, so you're like basically here to inform us of stuff, which is
Mm-hmm.
what you've been good at. So you're not really like, I'm here to teach. So like everything you just said is what I want to do. And this is
Uh-huh.
where I get insecure because everybody else like dogs on it and acts like it's bullshit. And I'm like, well, that's actually my dream.
1-3's world rule the world.
So
I agree.
like if you want a class, come to me. But why it's so beautiful, because yes, I'm a 1-3. I'm here, I'm cross of rulership. Like I am here to teach. That's all I got.
I'm here
You
to
have to
share.
learn, you know,
Yeah.
this other
Yeah,
way of
good
informing
for
and
you.
informing. And so
Right?
it's really cool. Like it's,
Yeah.
you don't have to do the course in the class. You
Yeah, I
show
think you could just sell your time. I bet you could.
It's
And
just
you
what
would be fine.
everybody does. It's everybody
Yeah, but you
is
just say like an unstructured hour with Dave. Don't expect anything.
Dave, you know how many manifestors come to me like so confused about being a manifestor and they want to understand it more, and I'm like, I'm looking for manifestors to send them to so that they can talk to somebody who has their own type.
neutrinoradio@gmail.com.
Yay! Follow him on Instagram too, because he's super funny.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like you put too much pressure on yourself, Dave. I think if you went even more, well, I think when you're talking,
Why aren't I doing anything?
no, I think when you're talking, you're putting too much pressure on yourself. But I think in the doing is probably pretty good. I don't
I
know.
just don't know what to do. Like
You're
I just
not. I
don't.
don't think you're supposed to do anything.
How do you do anything? Right? How do you do things? Like
You
how do you
don't.
get things to do to be done? I don't. What do you?
I started my original podcast because I couldn't find anyone to talk about human design with, and I just wanted to talk about human design. Like I didn't care what happened to it. She found me from that podcast, and we decided that we wanted to interview people about human design. And then so we started ours, and it really had to do with what we wanted to have for ourselves. Like we wanted to have this conversation with you for us, not for like people listening. We don't, I very rarely pay attention to our followers. Like we just are like, here's the stuff. We could do a lot better. We could probably market it a whole lot better. But this is fun for us like this. It's fun for me anyway. And it's relatively easy. And when I find things that are fun and that are easy, that's kind of the way that I just lean. And that's the way that stuff gets done. But I mean, I'm a mental projector. I'm a mental projector, so I'm not here. I can't be attached to any do. I just can't. It's too much energy. It doesn't work out. Even if I want to, even if I get super frustrated that nothing is happening, And I like with this party, I took a 45-minute video of this whole party. And I'm like, okay, I got to get in there and cut clips and I got to share and everybody's got to see. But it feels very overwhelming to me. So I'm like, just put that to the side. Just have fun with this energy of that was a good party. And you had so much recognition. Like that was really neat. You don't need to turn it into anything right at the second, even though I really want to, because it's just like you, I'm like, oh, it's the momentum. Oh, I gotta be consistent. People gotta see what I got. I say, fuck it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's too hard. And this is where my biggest opportunities have come from, is me being like, I'm done trying to make something happen with this thing. And then stuff happens. Little things, not enough to sustain, not like, oh, here's a million clients, just little, like the universe is messing with me. It's like, here you go, just enough to keep you sustained and following this path, but not enough to where you can quit your job at the restaurant.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Me too. Like I'm still here. I haven't not foreclosing on my house yet or anything.
yeah, they give us
But
just enough to be like, you're good, just keep going. But I think it's because we're supposed to learn some stuff and share this, why it's so annoying and difficult and real life hard. Because there's other people out there sharing how easy it is and how it could be so easy for you if you just did these 12 easy steps. And we are here to say it's not like that, doesn't work like that. So have
And
as much fun as you can.
that's why they're getting all the business, because they're saying those things and people are like, oh, give me the shortcuts, and then they fall for it.
right,
But
and you know, these are like human design people who's like, oh, just this is the secret to finding your greatest dreams and making your, you know, find, you know, it's like all about like manifesting and stuff and getting what you want out of life. Use human design to, you know, blankety blank your business. Use human design to,
Mhm.
you know, like make a have your first $10,000 month or whatever.
Oh God, I hate when people throw around numbers. That just is
But
like,
it's funny because like as a manifester, I never think about manifesting ever. Like it's the last thing. It's not like, oh, what am I gonna manifest? I'm a manifester. I'm gonna just manifest something. It's the opposite. It's like, I wonder what I'm gonna manifest. I wonder when I'm gonna finally manifest something.
but I
You
think
know,
maybe it's supposed to be like that.
right, exactly. Yeah. It's not like vision boards.
No.
It's like empty canvas. What's gonna happen, you know?
Yeah.
But there's all these people that take human design and turn it into this, it's just all about manifesting.
Yeah. Yeah. The human design people that I like and that I follow, if they sell stuff, it's very involved programs to where they're like, they're doing this a lot. And to me, if you're involved like that, I'll pay for your time. Like if I want to do that, because this is your time and your energy, you know?
Hmm.
And it feels very supportive, the things that they're doing. It's more about support rather than business goals or meet your love of your life or whatever. It's more like, this can support you in all of these things, but you're still going to pay me for my time, which I get. And that's what I want from other people. It's like, this is my time. Like when I put together people's charts and stuff like that, I take time to do those things. So I should be compensated for that time.
Hell yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel about, I have a hard time with how much I'm going to charge a lot of the time. That really, it's because it's marketing. Just like you said, Rebecca, I'm like, if I do it too low, then people aren't going to value it. But if it's too high, then people are going to be like, who do you think you are? You know, you got to find the spot where people are like, oh, this must actually be worth it. And not $48. That's what I used to, that was the very first amount I charged when I did charts, was $48.
Oh my gosh.
That was like 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
I've never done any session ever. Like I've never charged anyone for
Do you
any.
want to? 'Cause,
I mean, I, 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 I want the money.
But do you think you would like to do it?
No, no, I don't think I
Mm.
would. I think it, well, I think I would like to talk to people about human design, but I don't like this like responsibility of like synthesizing someone's chart for that. Like
Yeah.
to do a reading, I don't really I don't want to do readings. I want to do sessions,
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm
know.
saying. You don't have, you can just have somebody's chart in front of you and start riffing. That's what I do a lot of the times
Hmm.
when I get to like the second or third session after I've already read a chart for them. I got scared that I'm not going to have anything to say, but you have so much to say because they bring you so much. They're like,
Yeah.
what do you think about this? And then you just kind of glance and you're like, well, la, 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 because of what I see. And I think it takes away a lot of the responsibility because you're
Hmm.
just there as a support. You're there to share a different viewpoint to them. It's not like you're there to tell them what to do or even give them advice. You're just bouncing stuff off of them and being like, well, what do you think about this? Well, what do you think if you tried it like this? Like
Hmm.
what do you think about that? And that's where I
Yeah,
had to really let
totally.
go and learn to talk a lot less and let them kind of talk at me and then go, well, what if, what would it look like if you did this? And usually I'm genuinely like, I don't know what that would look like. What do you think? Like, what would it look like to you? I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just like, and you don't even have to talk about their design or really talk about the centers or the gates. Like, I don't talk about any of that stuff. No one wants to know about that stuff.
Right.
They
See,
want to know
that's the
about
thing. I just like when I
themselves.
find myself sitting there, like if I have to do somebody's like, you know, first reading ever, it's so heavy for me to be like, oh God, okay, undefined solar plexus. Okay, let's go through all these fucking
Mm.
keynotes. Like, you know, this channel and that channel, and it was like, okay, was this the split? So how am I going to like talk to them about this? And then it's just sort of all this. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing this. Like
You don't have to do it like
But then
that.
right,
again,
yeah.
you're not going to attract those people because with the way that you talk about it, the way you present yourself, somebody who needs the foundation isn't going to come to you. They're going to come to me. Or if they
Uh
do,
huh.
like I want you to explain this like I'm a toddler, like go talk to Rebecca, like she
Right.
I want to know every single thing you could tell me about gate 17. All right, go over there or read it. That's what
Yeah.
I was. I'm like, Google it. You'll find
But
it.
for you, it's like
Right.
it's more like even if you find someone who knows about human design a bit, like it's so powerful to talk to somebody who's like the same type as you or even to just show up in a space where you can talk and have discussion and for you to inform them about like inside of the conversation. I think that could be really powerful. Like you're
For
literally
sure.
And
Yeah.
you might initiate stuff for other people. And then they go on and do something awesome. And you're like, see, that was me.
you're like I did that.
I'm not going to get any credit for this, but I started that ball rolling. So I think that, and this is really how I do my stuff too, is I just want to share. I just want to share and I want to hear where you're at in your life. And I want to experiment with maybe these parts of your design will help make this easier for you or more fun. I'm very much a fun, like what can be the most fun thing that you can do? Like that's what I want for myself. And so that's kind of what I give off energetically to people, I think, when I read for them. And I think almost everyone just takes their life way too seriously, life in general, just so seriously, and it makes things heavy that don't need to be as heavy as they are. So for me, I'm hoping energetically I help people like lighten up.
Mm.
Like it's not so serious. You're making it really serious. And I do it too, but I've gotten a lot better. And I think it has to do with the way that I read for people because I don't do that. I don't go, hey, okay, so you're this, that, and the other. I talk about strategy and authority, profile and type because those are easy things for me to talk about and they're easy for people to understand. But going past that, if people want to know what a defined G center means, and maybe I'll tell them, but 9 times out of 10, they don't care. They just wanted to hear
Right.
about themselves. They don't care the mechanics of the system. That's us. We think that stuff's fun.
I mean, I was listening. Well, I know this one lecture with of Raj that he's talking about how he when he does readings he only does definition, strategy, authority. Like he's like, and he starts talking about how profile is
Mhm.
just something that he uses to like know how to talk to them, but he doesn't start telling people about their profiles. He was like, and he said that's what I call bubblegum human design. When
Oh,
you
Pop
start telling,
HD, baby.
he said he called it bubblegum human design,
I love
and
that.
he was talking about profile.
I know. But that makes a lot of sense because last night when I was had a lot of fives in my group and that made me very nervous. I almost did not want to bring it up, but they brought it up.
Right?
They said, "What do these numbers
Oh yeah,
mean? What is
what's
this
the
number?"
heretic?
I'm like, "Oh God." So I did my best to explain it to them, but I also said it just like you said. I said, "This isn't something you actively try to be or do or embody. This is just this is happening whether you want it to or not. So you don't really need to put
Especially
too much."
profile, yeah.
Yeah, profile, specifically
Yeah.
profile. You
It's
don't
like
need
you
to put,
can't you're not and you're not self is not is still is gonna be living out your profile.
yeah.
You're yeah.
And for the fifth line, my main thing was like, I was like, I think for y'all, boundaries is probably a good thing. And just figuring out what those mean to you, what that means for you. Would that be something you would say to a fifth line?
Man. The fifth line, I think it's good to know that you're being projected on,
Yeah.
for to because it's the kind of thing where, like I said before, like you want to people figure you out. So like Ra would say, seduce and run. It's like you dazzle people, and then you like it's like with George Costanza when he he like gets this thing. He's like, I'm just gonna tell. I want to tell a good joke, and then I'm like, I'm leaving the meeting. Good, I'm out of here.
I remember that
Like
one.
that's what we have to do. Like just like make a good impression and then just disappear, because like eventually you're gonna get fired. You know.
I mean, if you're not the boss, then yeah, probably.
Uh-huh.
The main thing I just wanted, like, it was just like that. I said, you're gonna be projected upon. There's gonna be things that people want from you that they see in you that is not you, but they want it, so that's what they see. I'm kind of asking this of you because the fifth line is very. When I try to talk about it, it's hard for me. I feel like I don't get it.
Like I'm a fit. I'm a 22/5 personality son, so like people expect this certain amount of grace from me, and I
Mhm.
just, but it's it's an or not situation. They're
Yeah.
gonna, but they, and then but when it is or not, when I'm not graceful, then there's this disappointment in me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Ugh.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I did tell them that they were here to fix things. So I hope that helped. That I don't even know. But that's what I've heard a lot about Fifth Line too, right? They're kind of here to save the day.
Practical solutions.
Yeah, yeah, practical. See, I wish I had that word. I should have said practical solutions. But a lot of them were saying that people came to them when they had problems that needed solving. And I was like, well, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
just be careful that they're not asking too much of you or they're not asking you to do something. My example to them, I looked at this one girl and I said, do you want to be president of the United States? Because I think you'd be really good at it. And I went about this list. I don't even know this person. I made up reasons why she'd be good at being the president. I said, do you want, because these are why, and we really need you to do this. You would be fantastic. And I go, do you want to do that? And she goes, no. I said, of course you don't want to do that. That's not you. So smaller scale, but people are going to do that to you. They want you to, when I think about it as somebody who maybe wants to be friends with you more than you want to be friends with them.
Mm.
Like they want more of a relationship with you than you want with them because they see something in you that they need relationship
You
wise.
have to make it really clear what should be expected of you when you're a fifth line, or else
Yes,
people like, or else you're not doing enough.
I agree. I think that was a big part with the boundaries. It's like you need to tell let people know what you are willing to do and what you're willing to not do, and ask that of yourself. Be really clear with yourself, like, what are you really willing to do energetically? Because don't put yourself out there too much. You know, I don't know. That's what I
Yeah.
went with. I hope it works. It's
Yeah,
hard for me to
it
talk
works.
about the stuff that I'm not. That's why we love talking to mental projectors. We're like, oh, we know this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, here I am talking about the fifth line. Well, don't get me having to talk about the fourth line or something because
I don't
don't know
care.
what to say.
I feel like the fourth line is almost like a little magical, just in the way that relationships can move you forward in a way that like you don't have really anything to. That feels very like cool to me, to meet somebody, and if you're a fourth line, and be like, oh, I'm meeting this person for a reason, probably. I wonder what that reason is. Like, I never think of that when I meet somebody. I think, oh crap, I don't remember their name. They just said it. Ugh. Well, this has been super fun and we learned a lot. Right, Rebecca? I learned a lot. We were very excited about this conversation with you. So thank you for having
Yay.
it with us.
Yeah, it was great. It was very cool.
Good.
Thank you for sharing this space with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks
Go
for
find
having
Dave,
me.
Neutrino Radio, YouTube, Instagram, Gmail, and maybe a podcast if he decides he wants to do it. I think
I
you'd
am
be really
also
good
on
at it.
TikTok, but not much of a presence there. But
Me neither. She's really good at TikTok. This one, I'm terrible. It's too much. As soon as I log on, it's like flashy pictures, sound. I just want to throw my phone.
I don't mind it all that much. It's just I don't know how to navigate it like Instagram. It's just not.
Anything I post on Instagram, I just put up on TikTok and I'm like, it's
Yeah,
there.
me too. Me
Good.
too.
And I get out. I don't look at anything. I get
Hmm.
so overwhelmed by it.
I'm the
So
opposite. I don't like Instagram as much, but I like TikTok.
you're
And
so good. She does TikTok lives all the time. She's really good.
yeah, I was gonna say, Dave, like with the lives on Instagram, it's kind of annoying because they'll tell you how many of your followers are on, and then it really just shows your live to your followers. But on TikTok, it's like anybody can come through, which for me as a three line, I feel like is why it works. Like people are just bumping into me. I don't know how you feel about that with the 5-2, but
You
you
have to have
actually,
1,000
I mean,
followers though before they will let you
I
go
mean,
live on TikTok.
yeah. But I feel
exactly. Like and it's I don't I just don't I'm not interested in figuring out how to get traction on TikTok. I mean, I'll put my stuff up and then it's like it's a just a total shot in the dark if it's gonna.
This sounds so much like innocence with these, because I do the same thing. I'm like, whatever time it is, whoever's watching.
Right. TikTok, I don't care when I post or like it I don't know. And like one thing I posted it and I thought it did really well on Instagram and then it got like only 300 views on TikTok. So I was like, you know what? I think I posted it the wrong time or something. I took it down, waited a couple of days, posted it strategically, and it got 30 views. And I was okay. Fuck this. Like I don't
Yeah,
know. Just
yeah,
it's just
that would
it
frustrate me too.
TikTok just decides like nope, no, I don't like this. I don't want it. TikTok just doesn't like this video.
Have you ever
Anyways.
tried Facebook?
Oh yeah. I'm on Facebook as Dave Myers.
Okay. I feel like that
And
one helps
Facebook
break.
is cool because it's not as time sensitive. Like I'll have a video on there that like, I put up 7 months ago and like people are still discovering it and it's still
Mhm.
getting more views and it's getting
Yeah.
shared places. It's not like of the moment kind of thing.
And it
It's
fosters a lot
more
of conversation. People will comment on a video that's like 3
right.
weeks old, and you're like, oh,
There's or somebody
okay.
puts something up in a group, like you never know. Like it could there's there might be like 5,000 people that like you would
Yeah.
never have accessed in some group that you like aren't in and then suddenly people are seeing your
Yeah.
stuff and I don't know. Facebook's definitely cool, but
You get some wackadoos on there though.
I can't stand the
Rebecca.
the conversationing. Like I like I said, I don't want to read anything. And it's like if you
Mhm.
post something on Facebook, if you comment one, just like a sentence, somebody's gonna 12 people are writing, dissertations for you, and you have to like sit there and like read all this stuff and respond to things, and it's just
Yeah.
so I so don't care. I don't
I
care.
do agree that the the variety of conversations and comments sometimes is like, it's like, where did you come from? Especially when you share something that's not very controversial. It's just kind of like, oh, this is fun. And then people are like, well, technically, if this was 17.2 date at this time and this planet
Right.
was here, and you're like, oh.
Or you just, I'll post something about a certain gate or channel or something, and then people are like, I have that gate. I have the gate in this line of that gate, and this and that and about it and all these things, and I'm just like, yeah, lots of people have it.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. Like I knew someone had it. I knew someone had that gate, but they just like, ooh, you're talking about me, like me, and I'm now I wanted. Can we talk? Is this like an invitation to like to be your friend? I'm like, nope, just putting out some content.
I feel like that's manifester. I know manifestors are supposed to be repelling, but I feel like sometimes you get like flashes of the opposite. Because there's manifestors that I felt very attracted to energetically, and they were like, "What? Get away from me!" I'm like, "Sorry, you're just kind of cool right now." So I think it's a very,
Well, there's no aura involved, so in that, so
oh, it's
you get
true.
my frequency, but the repelling aura might not come
Oh, I didn't think of that.
through the posting.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a very interesting way to put it. Well, thanks for chatting with us, and we already follow you on most of your stuff. I don't know if I follow you on Facebook, but I will now. And we're really excited to have refreshing conversations like this about human design that are real life stuff. So we appreciate you, basically.
Awesome. Like this is cool. Yeah, I hope we talk again sometime.
We would definitely do this again.
For sure.
So,
Nice.
yay. You might have to initiate it though and be like, hey, are you guys ready for me? And we'll be like, yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks,
Bye,
y'all.
babe.
Thanks, you
Bye.
guys.